Once again, my names are Mr. Wayne Magani Shkovu, Director at Brand Institute of Forensics and Security, and following up on our lesson 2 of employability skills. Today we shall be discussing lesson 3, which is safe work habits. Safe work habits. This is what we shall be discussing today. You have to practice good safe work habits. Everybody in the organization. Mostly you find that safe work habits are usually discussed under occupational health and safety, or these issues are structured under occupational health and safety. It is a requirement that in every organization where we have 10 and more employees, there is an occupational health and safety committee that is appointed from among the members or the workers who champion issues related to occupational health and safety, or who champion issues related to safety at the workplace. I would like to give you an assignment, and the assignment will be very simple. This will be assignment number 2. Remember, assignment number 1, it was for you to briefly write down your personal goals. And I also mentioned that there was also another second part. I don't remember clearly, but there was a second part to read. Another part I remember during the assignment was also for you to write down a simplified mission statement. Please do those assignments. I want to see them. And then today, I want you to do an assignment, and the assignment will be differentiate between safety and security. What is the differences between safety and security? And discuss this in the context of an organization where you are working, and with examples and some illustrations. Discuss the differences between safety and security with reference to your workplace or your organization with examples or illustrations. That one is an assignment that I would like you to do. So as we start our presentation today, I am well. I am doing very well. I am moving on with the work that I have to do here. And I am very happy that everything is going well for me. And I hope everything is also going well for you. Let us start. We shall not go back to the topics already. This is already on our fingertips where we are moving. We are now, when you see anything highlighted in green, in blue, you know that is where we are now. Now we are at safe work habits. We shall discuss safe work habits with reference also to your organization. Let me put on my glasses so I can see properly. We say we are going to be talking about how to demonstrate critical safe work habits. And this involves training in skills, knowledge, and behaviors to manage stress, maintain punctuality, integration of personal objectives to organizational goals, setting work priorities, abstinence from drugs and abuse and alcohol, awareness of HIV and AIDS, and then safety consciousness and handling emerging issues in place of work. These are the things we are going to talk about. These things contribute to a safe work environment. When you manage stress, when you maintain punctuality, when you integrate your personal goals into organizational goals, among the other things that we have mentioned, they actually contribute to a safe work environment. And then a definition of some of the key words that we shall be discussing is work priority. And I'm going to skip this because already the assignment is there, but just talk about work priorities, safety, and safety consciousness. Safety consciousness is being aware of what is happening. Let's start with stress management. Stress is managed in accordance with the workplace procedures. Remember that workplaces have policies that define how stress is to be managed. They have support mechanism on how to define how stress is to be managed. So you need to follow your workplace policies. The International Labor Organization defines stress as some of the contributing factors that lead to a lot of issues all over the world. I wanted to read from a certain publication about stress, and publication says stress is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Stress is a mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. And when we come back to our presentation, we see that on this slide, we see that a little tension can keep you on your toes. Too much can break down your system. They say that a little stress is okay for your well-being. A little tension is well for your well-being. But too much can break down the system. Too much can break you down until you become depressed, until you go into very difficult psychological situations. Here at the United States, stress is something that is taken with a lot of seriousness. I know in our country, people don't take it very serious. People just survive. We just survive and move on. But here and other countries like Canada, like Australia, European countries, stress, depressions, these are issues that are taken with a lot of seriousness. You see, in our country, there are so many mental issues. It is not bad to talk about it. It is good to talk about it because we see what is happening. People are going through very major mental issues, but nobody knows about it and nobody cares about it. But here, the issues related to mental issues are taken with a lot of seriousness. Any disorder in the mind is followed up and treated to the letter. I wish and I hope and I know that our country, one day, one time, we are going to reach there, God willing, where we take care of our people, we identify those who are suffering from mental issues, and we support them. Go to any community, go to Kisii, go to Migori, go to Luyaland, go to Kukambani. We will find that at the marketplace, there is always people with the mental issues. And in fact, people joke about them. They say these are the madness of the market, the people who are mad in the market. It is not a joke. These are people who are suffering from serious mental, stressful issues. They need help, but nobody is there to help them. But one day, one time, we shall be able to help these people. So stress is something that is very serious. It's something that results in circumstances that are overbearing to you as an individual. And you cannot work successfully if you are under immense stress. If you are under immense stress, you cannot perform to your level best. Stress management. How do we manage stress? Setting priorities, using time management, which will ensure one deals with immediate priorities, hence eliminating stress. So number one, stress management procedure number one is to set priorities. What are your priorities? What are your daily priorities? In the morning when you wake up, what are your priorities? I have to prepare my kids to go to school. I have to support my wife to go to work. I have to get ready and go to work. Or I have to prepare these things at night. And in the morning, I will leave at 5. So my wife will prepare kids to go to school before she goes to work. This is what you call setting priorities. Set priorities. Always set priorities, even when it comes to work. But two, examining expectations. And this is where we get a lot of problems, especially in the family setup and even at work. Expectations. Setting realistic goals that are achievable will enable people understand that making mistakes offers an opportunity and presents time to learn. Examining expectations. Set goals that are realistic. Don't set goals that are beyond your ability to manage. I myself have suffered that a problem for a long time. I'm just learning to survive through it. I always set very huge goals. I always set very huge responsibilities. Then it becomes unbearable for me to manage. So set goals that are achievable, and then look for avenues to manage change. Change is part of life, and hence adaptability is key. Support networks of friends and relatives who need to be developed. And then living a healthy lifestyle. This involves eating a balanced meal, relaxing, prayer, yoga, exercise, and meditation. And then creating support programs. Creating support programs in the workplace to help employers deal with work-related stress. So, examining expectations, creating avenues to manage change, and then living a healthy lifestyle, and then creating support programs. Living a healthy lifestyle is very important. However, leading a healthy lifestyle also requires that you have finances in your pocket. And that is why also you are back in school, you gain some more knowledge, you gain some more certification that you may move up rank your work area or find a better well-paying job so that you can also be involved in eating a balanced meal, in relaxing, in prayer, in exercise, and other meditation activities. Also, Punctuality and time consciousness is very important. We talked about punctuality. Under employability skills, if you are a person who consistently comes to work late, you inconvenience your fellows, you inconvenience your manager, you just know that your work is on the line. Very soon, time will catch up with you. You will not survive. Be a person who exercises punctuality and time consciousness. Demonstrate punctuality and time consciousness at work. Avoid being late all the time. It is a sign of professionalism in the workplace when you come to work on time, when you are punctual on time. Also, completing tasks on time is also a sign of maturity and also a sign of professionalism. That one, I'll just mention very few words because it is one of my strengths. Time management. Observe time. Time consciousness. Time consciousness. This implies using the available time wisely, since the time wasted is never recovered. It entails being aware of the importance of time and what to do with the time. Be awareness of time wasters. Identify duties that need to be done and take others to ensure that the tasks are completed on time. Effective time usage and punctuality will enable one to make key decisions in time. Complete tasks reduce anxiety and stress, improve job performance, and develop better interpersonal relations. Leisure, leisure, leisure. So under employability skills, we say you must have time to engage in leisure activities. Don't just concentrate on job throughout without taking time to relax, taking time to engage in sports, taking time to find ways to relieve stress and to reduce pressure. Reduce stress and depression by providing time and chance to balance work and life. Improves the quality of life, such as when taking part in recreation time. So leisure is very, 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 very important. And there are several ways that you can engage in leisure to reduce stress and depression. Leisure also relieves boredom by engaging in other activities, enhances communication and self-esteem of individuals who engage in leisure activities. Leisure time should be managed wisely through engaging in meaningful activities, which will lead to realization of the benefits listed above. It is thus important to take care of our free time. Take care of your free time, involve yourself in sports, involve yourself in church activities, involve yourself with meeting friends. This is what we call leisure time. Watch football. I like watching football. This is what we call leisure time, and it is recommended that you engage in these activities to reduce stress and to reduce also pressure. So we have spoken about leisure, and we also see that from the presentation that it is advisable for you to integrate personal objectives into organizational objectives. Each organization has its objectives, has its vision, mission statement. It is important for you also to align your personal goals and your personal visions and your mission statement on the line of organizational objectives. Each individual has got a purpose and a reason for existence. So do organizations. Objectives act as a driving force in an organization. They set the direction of the organization and act as a motivating force. In an organization, every individual should work to achieve the objectives of the organization. Alignment of individuals to organizational goals direct efforts towards their realization. For example, what we say, if your organization has a goal, has a vision of developing people to higher standards, then you should also have a goal or a vision that is related to developing now yourself to higher standards, so that it is in line with what the organization is looking for. If the organization specializes in developing people, then you should also be in a situation, in a mindset whereby you are willing to develop yourself. You set goals that are realistic, that are in line with what your organization desires. Integrating goals. How do we integrate goals? In the organization, strategic plan objectives show the intended direction of where the organization wants to follow. Personal objectives are framed for individuals at all levels of the organization and should be consistent with organizational goals. Often, personal objectives satisfies individual goals, such as completing tasks leading to payment. This can lead to conflict with the organizational goals. For these reasons, the individual goals should be in harmony and not conflicting or supersede organizational goals. So yours should be in harmony and in line with the organizational goals. Still the same thing that we are speaking about is integrating personal goals also with organizational goals. We have already spoken about this. Hiring employees who fit the organizational culture such that they will strive to achieve their objective and at the same time attaining or enabling the organization to attain its goals and strategy. And we are also going to talk about a little bit about resource utilization, resources mobilization. This is also a very important area when we speak about managing um, a safe work environment. Resources are utilized in accordance with workplace policy. Resources are tangible and intangible assets used by an organization to attain or implement its strategies. They include all assets, organizational attributes, information, and knowledge controlled by the organization to implement strategies and form resulting into efficiency and effectiveness. So resources are what we use to run the organizations. Resources are used in organizations to make the organizations grow and generate revenue. So we say that resources should be utilized in accordance with company policy. Remember, all organizations have policies. Every company has its policy. So it is important for you, if you are working for a particular organization, to learn something about its policies. What are our policies? What do the policies say about resources? What do the policies say about resource utilization? What do the policies say about resource mobilization? Even human resources should be utilized well to ensure sustained productivity. Human beings are also organizational resources. Resources should be well utilized as per wastage hamper performance. Utilization of resources should be evaluated and tracked since they greatly impact the organization. How resources are used. If you are a security person or even if you are in another department, procurement, you must make sure that resources are controlled properly to avoid wastage. Because we see here that utilization of resources should be evaluated and tracked since they greatly impact the organization. And then resource mobilization is how we bring resources together. How do we get resources? This refers to the process of acquiring additional resources to achieve organizational goals. It entails having the right type of resources at the right time and cost and ensuring proper utilization of the same. So resources mobilization is how we get additional resources to run the organization and to do the job that we are supposed to do. And then also we say resource allocation. This is usually done at a top management level where resources are allocated to particular departments. And if you are a department head, then you must make sure that you are using your resources in accordance. However, there are some managers who return the resources issued to them to be used for their people, they return it to the finance department. Even recently, you heard that there were some governors who are returning billions and billions of money that were allocated for development in their various counties, but they never used this money for that development. They returned the money to the treasury. That is what we call improper use of resources, because resources are supposed to be utilized for development of your people. I know there are managers who have budgets even for training, even for development, even for uniforms, but they cannot buy these things for their team members. They cannot invest in their team members to go back to college until they return this money to the finance office. That defies logic. You have been given money to develop your team members, but you cannot develop them because you are one person who don't want to develop people. That is one defies logic totally. And then we say setting work priorities. We also talked about priorities earlier. Work prioritization is the activity of arranging tasks in order of their urgency and importance relative to the others. Urgent ones are established and completed first. Setting work priorities. All tasks that need to be done need prioritization. All tasks cannot be completed at the same time. Some things need to be done first before others. Some things need to be done first before others. That's what we call setting priorities, ensuring that urgent ones are established and completed first. That's what we call setting priorities. Even in your own life, you have to set priorities. that I'm first going to complete this diploma in security management because it is very important to me. And then now I can focus on completing another course in computer studies, or I can engage in another area, or I can set up a business. So you prioritize what is most important to you, and then you first work on completing that, and then you focus on the rest of the things at a later stage. Steps to how to prioritize work. Steps: collecting a list of all tasks. You have to collect tasks that need to be done. Collect the tasks, write them down. Identify urgent one versus important one. Urgent ones versus important one. Urgent ones are mandatory, must be done immediately. Important ones is good to do them, but they do not supersede urgent ones. And then narrow down which one is the most important urgent item that needs to be done first. And then assessment of the value. Assess the value, allow for flexibility and adaptability. Allowing for flexibility and adaptability between the tasks means that you can as well change that this one is more important than this one, so it needs to be completed first. Or this one is more important than this one, so it needs to be completed first. So allow for flexibility and adaptability. And then know when to cut. Not everything can be done in the list, and after prioritization, the remaining tasks should be cut from the list and focus be directed to those tasks that can be completed for the day. So you know how to, that I cannot finish everything on a single day or in 1 week. So which ones am I going to leave behind, and which ones am I going to put in more effort to complete them? Also, under practice, we are saying that some of the things to avoid also at the workplace that leads to safe work environment is staying away from drug and substance abuse. Drug is a substance that, when absorbed into the body, affects the psychological functions. Drug and substance abuse affect all people at all levels. Drug and substance abuse in the workplace can adversely affect the organization. That is obvious. You know how drugs and substance abuse affects people. You know how drugs and substance abuse can mess up the workplace. It can lead to very dangerous situations at the workplace. You can imagine if 4 or 5 people are under the influence of drugs at the workplace, then talk of the risk of fire, the risk of violence, the risk of the workplace insults and other issues. The risk is very high. The risk of injury is very high. So the risk of messing the flow of things, how the work functions, the risk is very high. So stay away from drugs and alcohol and substance abuse at the workplace. And then we say, when employees are under the influence of drugs, they will become less productive, and organizational goals may never be realized. The employees also cause problems in the workplace, such as tiredness, poor decision making, and low morale among others. So you have to be a person who stays away from drugs and alcohol abuse, especially at the workplace. If you want to grow in your career, then you have to stay away from this, especially now that you're going to become a security supervisor, a security manager. You have to be of sober mind 24 hours, because if you engage in drugs, if you engage in alcohol, then your performance will actually be affected in a great way. Employees and the workplace should be free from drugs and substance abuse. We also say HIV and AIDS. Don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. Most organizations have forgotten about HIV and AIDS. People no longer talk about HIV and AIDS. But let me tell you, when you go for interviews, or even in other organizations, once every year, there will be medical tests. And if the medical tests, they conduct these HIV tests. If you're found to be HIV positive, you will miss very nice opportunities. Very nice opportunities. Even in some organizations, when it reaches to promoting people to middle management and even to upper management, they take them through these tests, medical tests. You have to do a medical test. So that if you are suffering from a particular issue or a certain issue like HIV, AIDS, then it affects your position. Look even at traveling to foreign countries. You can even get a job today at Qatar or in Dubai. But before you travel, you will have to do a medical. And if you fail in the medical, you will not get the job. Even now, you can be terminated where you are working and you are looking for another job. You want to join Safaricom. You will do the interview and you will pass very well. But at the end of the day, they will send you for a medical test. If you fail the medical test, they will not give you the job. If you are HIV and AIDS positive, they will not give you the job. So you can imagine, secretly, HIV and AIDS is a danger to you. And you must stay negative. You must stay negative. For you to succeed, for you to grow in your career, which is your intention, you must stay negative. HIV and AIDS is a great challenge in the workplace, and hence awareness should be created in accordance with the workplace policy on HIV and AIDS. As I said earlier, many companies have forgotten about it, but it is still existing, and it is a major issue. Then also, what I want to say also, as an experienced security manager in my career, develop healthy relationships with other managers, with other team members, with other suppliers, with all stakeholders, with all shareholders, with all board of directors. Develop good relationships. Healthy relationships are built and understanding each other's expectations and needs. There is need for open communication and mutually trust in the organization. Creating boundaries also enhance healthy relationships. It is an expression of what makes others comfortable or uncomfortable. Healthy relationships are important and also human, vital to both emotional and mental well-being and survival. Safety consciousness and safety culture, that one, I'll just say a few words. Be a person who encourages others to know what is happening about them, and you should be the one leading in safety awareness. Be safety conscious. Know what is happening around you 24 hours. At your workplace, at your home, you must know what is happening around you to be able to relate with other people, or to be able to work successfully, or to be able to create a work safe environment. We are talking about creating a work safe environment. So develop a culture of safety. A culture of safety is a culture whereby everybody understands that safety is paramount and security is very important for the continuous operation of the organization. Employees need a regular reminder on safety to prevent accidents. This enables them to take action and responsibility towards workplace. Injuries occur due to lack of safety consciousness, and therefore safety consciousness should be comprehensive in all meetings. Strategic positions and performing work in such a way that safety is assured and the chances of accidents are minimized. And then emerging issues dealt with in accordance with organizational policy. Emerging issues involve, but not limited to, terrorism, social media, national cohesion, and open offices. Open offices, this is an open plan work environment where employees work better together, often in the same room and besides each other. You see how things are changing. In this plan, the work environment becomes noisy and security is reduced and privacy is limited. Those are some of the issues that come with the open office. Open offices have increased in number due to desire to increase interactions and collaborations among workers. So these are some of the challenges that come with open offices. There is a reduced privacy, and there is also an aspect of noise, and there's also an aspect of reduced security, because people are just working together openly. One person can easily capture your password to your system, password to your computer, because you are just together, you are just in an open area. An aspect of privacy is lost. So this is also one area that we need to consider when we are talking about managing a safe work environment. And also we have spoken about terrorism, and also we have spoken about social media, and then we have also spoken about national cohesion. Finally, in conclusion, employees should be able to manage stress, observe punctuality, integrate personal objectives into organizational goals, and utilize resources effectively, set workplace priorities, recognize leisure as very important, abstain from drugs and substance abuse, be aware of HIV and AIDS, and be conscious of safety. This will be important in maintaining safety habits at the workplace. The things that we have spoken about will be important in managing or maintaining safety habits at the workplace. With those few remarks, I want to say thank you. We are going to go next weekend to our fourth and fifth lesson, we are going to try and cover 2 lessons every week. So I would really ask Fred if it is possible to try and complete these 2 lessons this coming weekend. So next weekend, then we can go to the other lessons as we move forward, because the course is a little bit lengthy. There is quite a number of things that we need to cover, and we are already behind time. So we have to try and cover these lessons in the shortest time possible. I'll also try to reduce the content in a very intelligent way, so that we are not taking a very long time on one presentation. We should be taking at least 25 minutes to 30 minutes on one presentation, so that we spare time to cover the areas that we haven't covered. So as I said, as part of the assignment, I want you to write a comprehensive, detailed analysis on the differences between safety and security. What is the difference between safety and security? With examples basing on your organization. Please remember this. Thank you very much. I'll meet you again when we meet for the next lesson. Thank you, and bye-bye.